Loading. Oh, my mic's broken. Broken. Oh, we're back. All right. Hey guys, I'm Matt Lighty. This is a video. That much I know for sure. I wanted to show you the back to basics maximum map effect tree I've been running to farm tier 17s. Not to run T17s, but to farm out T17s. You could do this on T17, but you will literally like soft lock yourself on the map because sometimes, for example, on a 17, you have things like whatever, things like damage or, you know, AoE or something. I don't know if I have one here. Okay, so yeah, okay, so players have 50% less AoE. When that gets scaled up by map effect or something like that, it reaches a point where you literally don't have AoE. Now this tree is also just good in general for just getting stuff, but I really like it for farming out 17s. These are the ones I did in the past couple hours. Because it's comfy, and it's really weird because it's like low interaction, so I just want to showcase what it is I run. And you have to, again, the whole point of this tree is you're getting scarabs, Necropolis stuff, because you're playing Necropolis League and you want to engage with it. If you don't have the stuff, you're basically throwing. That's questionable design, that's neither here nor there. Then we're just picking up every single representation of increased explicit effect, along with back to basics, which gives us large variations of explicit effect, but it says we can't spawn extra content, so you can't have anything that lists below and no influence. So this is like we're doing like high tier vanilla mapping. When I run these maps, I typically run them with 1 to 2 increased maps found, 1 to 2 uniques. This is going to add up to more than 5, you'll see why in a second. And then one of these. It kind of just depends on what I have. I have a lot more reliquaries at the moment, so I'm going to swap back until I get to a similar amount of maps. Then we'll do that. I also sometimes throw on the duplicate map ones. That one's good too. You know, whatever. So these are like the main ones I run. You could also do things like any of the vanilla scarabs. So magic pack size, more rares, clusters, haunted traders. I wouldn't use these ones. They're basically worthless, but you get the gist of it. All right, so those are the things I run. And we're looking for, again, rolling maps that if their values were tripled, it wouldn't ruin the map. Okay? So I do crits almost all the time. If I put this on and then the value of the map gets scaled up enough that they don't take damage from crits, that would be sad. But like, or something like CDR also doesn't work for me. This works for me for the most part. These are all things that if scaled up don't affect me. I typically val them if they're below 85 quantity. Nothing changed, I'll still run it. Now, the reason we do these in combination with the reliquary specifically is because although we can't spawn extra stuff, there still is a chance embers still operate normally, and the devoted modifiers still operate normally. So a lot of people are doing something similar, or you've probably seen something similar before, but the way it works is if you still invest in the quantity modifier, and then these quantity modifiers, if you get a possessed by monster, or release monsters, release ghosts, that sort of thing, those still apply. So if you were to throw on any of the high embers, I don't think I have any meat sacks left, but meat sacks are a really good one for that in general, or exiles. You know, just putting on embers works. So like if we put this map in, we just do basic quantity with our back to basics tree. We hit, there we go. So possessed or touched by spirits, right? I don't know if I actually have any meat sacks here. I have no meat sacks. I have no exiles, okay? So I have none of the ones I'd normally like to put on. Okay, so we'll put the gemling on possessed, and we'll put the gemling on quantity, just to like give it a little oomph, right? And all the other shitters can just stay down there. But, you know, you feel free to use like Karuis on this one also, or these have higher pack size, you can put Karuis on that one too. Just kind of like juicing up that portion of it. So now we're gonna get 0 to 80% map effect added onto it. And this obviously just scales up to the moon with like quantity rarity, so it'll be pretty typically high. This one actually rolled quite low, I think. I'd have to do the math to like really shake out what happened here. But either way, you get the idea. This is like the gist of the breakdown of like what we're looking at. So, and then yeah, so these maps are like vanilla maps basically. But again, they're still pretty lethal. So your build has to be quite competent, I would say. And we'll get decent amounts of map drops because, you know, we have all the stuff on with the maps. And this way we'll hopefully get, you know, 1 or 2 T17s here. What we got here? Ahuana of the Ramako tribe. But there's like, you know, because we have such high quantity and pack size and stuff, it's pretty nice. I just like this tree because it's like, I don't want to interact with mechanics. I just want to do Necropolis, kill shit, and then, you know, do 17s for those uniques. And it's pretty nice for that. And this, you know, this method gets us an absurd amount of scarabs, especially. So many scarabs. And those are the gemling pops. You can kind of see the amount of pops. If you hit a meat sack with on possessed, you have the scarabs on, you'll probably get 30, 40 uniques. But you know, meat sacks aren't so common to have, so I typically save them for whenever I have a nicer map. But even like you can see, just putting on, you know, a gemling in the possessed spot will still get you a great amount. And as far as scarab sustain, just putting a point in the Cartel and the Reliquary one unironically makes it so every other map we could put on scarabs, if not every map, because they're really juiced. Like, these maps are quite juiced. Sometimes you get dud maps every now and again, but overall it's like, I mean, you saw the amount of effort. I'm wearing no MF gear, but and my filter is quite strict. But yeah, you still get pretty decent results. So like, I kind of like the back to basics tree for that. Again, but it's just, you know, it's dictating what you can and can't do. You can't do extra content. Ow. You can't. Ow. Ooh, Black Morgan. Nice. You do get those rare scarabs every now and again. I've probably seen, like, what would be considered a higher tier or a rare scarab once every, maybe like 4 or 5 maps. So, like, the ones where it's, like, guaranteed Blight Ravaged, or a Horn Scarab, or something like Black Morgan, or Harbinger Scarab Duplication. But, yeah, because, again, you're scaling up the... This is actually a pretty tame map. You get sometimes where it's, like, 600 to 700% gained as XYZ damage on monsters, or... When you get minus max doing back to basics, your res goes to fucking 50 all res. So, like, that shit's a little spooky. Probably would run a cast on Death Portal. My build's pretty tanky, and it's still pretty scary. Like, things like spawning in Mata to, like, you know, it's going to be spooky, but obviously you get some nice results. The Black Morgan Scarab is very nice. You can see the amount of tattoos also I'm getting. So, like, if you were, you know, having issues capping something, or you just wanted to use tattoos, although I think tattoos are kind of shit these days after they've been neutered so much, but it's still like ample amount. And there's kind of like a bit of a schism when it comes to back to basics T17 farming for players, whether or not to use singular focus. I don't like it. Singular focus does not prevent 17s from dropping, and if you only wanted to get 117, for example, if you wanted to farm out Yoke and you wanted to just do Fortress to farm out Yoke, you could do that. However, I just think that the amount of overall maps you get and how you lose so many potential other 17s from not doing this. Like, of the amount of maps I had on here, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drop. 2 of them were my favorite. These 3, maybe 2 out of 3 would have become my favorite with singular focus on, but I probably would have lost a map overall in that process. And to me, that's like not worth it, because every map that drops has a % chance, obviously, to become, you know, a T17. And yeah, also bosses fuck as far as like damage goes, but yeah, they're pretty chill. Let's do one more just to showcase, like, again, what I'm talking about. That was a pretty good showcase of like the basic process, but let's just do it one more because I have exactly 4 chisels, so 1 in Rome. As far as chisel sustain, you do get okay chisels. I actually just put on this 1 point for commissioned officer. That kind of just lets me go fine on chisels, to be honest, plus natural drops, because you do get natural drops, but every now and then I just like feed a fucking Kirikin, and you'll have way more chaos than chisel. So just the 8C for what is 5 maps worth of chisels. Yeah, you can see the corpses, you know. So I was kind of talking about with the kind of just comes and you get these big packs of huge corpse piles. Warlord influenced, cool. This map spawned with pretty decent pack size, so it probably looks like it doubled, give or take the values. Exalted orb. All right, another map down. Still no 17 dropping, unfortunate. Get back here, meatball. Get back here. Get back here, meatball. I full on coffins here. Yep. All right. Time to get a second fucking quad tab for coffins. Okay, this time we're going to toss on packs of higher tier. Another basic map. We have Tormented Spirit on Death, Chromes, Rarity, Quantity. A lot of cool things here. And we're just going to pop on all of these tattoo things. Get a bunch of Karui people in the mix. I see you. Alright, so we got a ghost inside one of the Karui heads. They're extra angry. Ahuana. Nice. I do very much enjoy the back to basics type tree with just like the Ember and Scarab gameplay loop. It feels pretty comfy. I just like not having to do something or like interact with something per se. Just have basically do normal mapping, but you know, get the benefits of like high tier mapping, kind of. Thank you, boys. Pop. Hey, there's our first 17. I mean, it doesn't take much. It's like a, what, 2% drop or something, but it happens eventually. I've been farming Fortress myself, but yeah, 17s. We got one. 1 in 3 maps is honest. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, they do come in waves. This is like kind of what I was trying to say, which is like, you might not see one for 5 maps and you get 3 in a map, but I would say an average is like 1 every 4 or 5 maps, probably getting a 17 to drop. Because you're a bit at the mercy of the devoted modifiers. If this map, we got pretty decent ones between the Ghost, the Quant, the Rarity, and that sort of stuff, and you put on Embers, but sometimes you just don't really get the sweet, sweet modifiers you want. But this time we did, and we got 2 T17s as a byproduct, so mission success. Could get another one here, legally. Didn't, but could have. Been trying to get a +1 power charge and a will clash for like 3 leagues now. No success. Okay, there are my 2 fortresses. It's happy days, so I put those in the tab, and then when I get like, I don't know, 10, I'll probably run them, so. There we go. There's my 17 farming. That's kind of what I wanted to show off, was just like this process as a terrible fucking Ventors. Oh, but I have 3. Hold please. And equally as shit, if not worse. Cool. But yeah, T17 farming and just generically enjoyable mapping in Necropolis with this back to basics tree. It's nothing really that impressive as far as like everyone's kind of doing something similar to this who are running back to basics tree. There's not much you can do since you can't have extra content or influence. So scarabs, map effect, Necropolis stuff. That's about all she wrote. So I've been Matt Lighty. This has been my back to basics tree. I guess like showcase. And yeah, that's it. Have a good day. Bye-bye.